Well, and welcome into Limited Time Only, brought to you by Sorare Data. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho and Sorare. Joined today by GatorGuy231, Keith Jameson. Today to talk about cash. There's a whole bunch. Keith and I had like 5 topics we wanted to talk about, and they all basically end up with more cash in our pockets. And so we were like, yeah, let's talk about, well, actually, maybe not directly in our pockets. Cash in somebody's pocket. But
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, hold on. Have you ever gotten cash in your pocket from this? Because I have not.
Yeah, I'm an ETH guy, really, anyway. But yeah,
can you put hold on? Is that what you need that special extra little per your wallet for? Is it the ETH section?
That's where I put my ETH. Yeah,
for like you put the coin.
Yeah, yep, that's where it is. Thanks for everyone for joining. Looks like Sorare Juju was first in. Raul and Kev Hurd joining on the podium. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Apple 22, Rui, Dream Oblivion, Maddie Sorare. What's up, guys? This is Packus Murphy. How about that? Mike Baston, abandon the limited ship. Mike, that is not what we're saying. ZM Star sell it all. Oh my gosh, guys. What are we talking about here? What are we doing? Daniel Cooper, good morning to you. Blue Tomatoes, what's up? I'm never going to say tomatoes again, at least when it comes to blue tomatoes because of, I just did it because of Haber. But anyway, ZM Star cash or market credits. We could talk about that for sure. Red or Dead, what's up? Carol, I won a jersey in the raffle, 30 tickets used. I just saw a tweet about how nobody has won. Nobody's won, thousands, millions of coins used. Nobody's won. So we found one. And Carol, congratulations.
We had somebody in one of our chats that we're both in too say that they won one as well. So it exists. Winners do exist.
I must have missed that. But yeah, congratulations to them. Hope you enjoy your Osasuna jersey. Andy Black, I'm not even going to read that one out loud. And Tuggy, hello. So, Keith, do you want to talk about how I was going to spend my cash or how you were going to make cash?
Let's go spend.
Okay.
Let's lead with that.
So I'm actually interested about what the chat thinks about this because I'm just curious what people think. So there's 2 weeks left. Is it time to play the Premier League winter competition? And the reason I said that is because I've been looking at card prices recently for specific cards, and there's some of those who are in the Premier League. And Keith, I'll just pull up our good friend James Ward-Prowse here. And this feels like a price graph of somebody maybe we should be buying. Like you used for the Premier League comp, like right. $75 for his new card, $93, $100 even. And the last sale, $26.
Isn't that kind of like what we see over and over again though too with like trying to think of like other competitions and things like that. Maybe actually a great example was Specialist, right? Where you get this overcorrection after the competition's over, after that guy's no longer under 40, it overcorrects, and then realistically you fall somewhere in between. So it kind of feels that way. Oh, and we also see that too with like the market cycle around like players, right?
Yeah.
MLS is already starting to come back a little bit, and MLS was the cheapest with like 6-7 weeks to go. So I kind of like it. I told you that. You told me, like, I think you were expecting me to go, you moron, or like something like that. And I'm like, I kind of like it.
Yeah. So I believe there are 2 game weeks left. And the way I was kind of looking at it was these guys are basically priced back to where they were. I mean, it's not everyone, but like if you see this James Ward-Prowse, like November 8th is kind of where, or 6th, wherever it is, kind of like bottomed out. But prices took off because utility was increased. And obviously he does not have as much utility now because most of the comp is over. But he does still have some, and he has more than he did before the competition because we still have 2 weeks left. And I was just like, maybe it's worth it. Like I would buy cards that, and Ward-Prowse was kind of the example that I think I would use after this. And so why not just go? And Daniel Cooper said, I may have just bought half a Spurs collection, which is great. Rui said, every week is good to win in the Premier League. And so Brad said, we knew this was coming. So we did. And that's why I didn't buy.
Right.
But is that the reason to buy now?
I mean, if you just actually think that there's this extra competition where I could make cash or ETH or whatever you want to choose it in as an extra for what you can normally do, and then I can just use it like a normal card.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to see. God, I hate saying this. I actually hate talking about prices for stuff right now. Me and you were in a chat earlier. Where like cheap, and I'm like, I don't know what cheap is. I don't know what expensive is. Like, none of us know. But you can get a lot of utility out of James Ward-Prowse for like $25. I guess is where I would fall on this. Is you can use him in a lot of different competitions, enjoy the hell out of the card for a long time. So it's kind of like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, obviously that patch that he had at the beginning of the season pushed his price up anyway. And has been probably, I think lately you could argue that that's the player we thought we were going to get at the beginning, like at West Ham. And so I don't know. Dream of Oblivion said it'll fall more though at the end of the season. But like,
Will it? Will it? No. No. Can I be honest?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. I mean, most likely, yes, but maybe. I mean, we need to get Dr. Black on here to tell us if we're in a dip or if we're coming out of it. But from where I stand, I go, I don't know.
I find it funny how many people are talking about how bad West Ham are going to be. I don't care.
Dr. Black told us to stack everybody away. I don't know why I'm calling him doctor. By the way.
I mean, 60 points at Anfield in a 3-1 loss. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, no Bowen and no Paqueta, right? Yeah.
He's fine. I mean, James Ward-Prowse is like your definition of a guy that's really solid. And if he gets a decisive, you're going to get dark green because he's always going to rack up some AA. He's going to do a little bit of defensive stuff, take a lot of set pieces. And if he gets a decisive action, boom. If not, whatever.
And he said he likes how I was going back and looking at his nut high game, JWP's nuts. I think, yeah, I mean, that's just what you do to convince yourself to, but it wasn't even Ward-Prowse, like, or not just Ward-Prowse. Like, how about another guy who's super hot right now? Pascal Gross, and looking at his price chart, he actually
all over the place. Yeah, he's all over the place.
Although he's also the same price as James Ward-Prowse.
So let me ask you level 2 of this idea. You only got 2 game weeks. You said there's 2 game weeks left?
I believe there's 2 left, yeah.
So are you going to specifically, since there's only 2, are you going to just buy the best player or are you going to buy the best matchup?
Oh, I was going full matchup.
Okay.
I went over.
Have you realized that Luton,
charts or whatever the hell they call those things, and yeah.
And have you realized that Luton is not the worst team or the team to stack up against? Have we finally dropped that?
Yes. But
I think it was so funny because everybody to start out, it was just a comment, stack Luton against Luton, and Luton's like, actually, we're going to get out of the relegation battle during this time.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Can I get? Yeah, here we go. Like, obviously, nobody was buying Arsenal and Man City cards because they were playing Luton. That was just like a benefit.
Yeah, bonus.
Then they beat Newcastle. I didn't actually mean to click on that. Win at Sheffield United. Score twice against Chelsea.
Right.
Like, I don't know. So yeah, I couldn't tell if where it was on the stupidity list of buying cards now. Like, if you want to buy Premier League cards, and I'm not convinced I do yet, but if I did, shouldn't I do it now while there's 2 weeks of increased utility?
Well, and Dream of Oblivion just put this. I don't know if Forrest enough to go reassert that. I'll believe him, but there's also a little bit of extra. If you have your scouting hat on, figuring out some top guys are gone, right? Like a Salah's gone. It's the first guy I can think of. I didn't research this enough, but you have a lot of guys that are top guys in AFCON or the Asian Cup. So if you can figure out maybe who slides
or they're
into
now
roles, or they're injured, like all of Liverpool, you have the ability to get some maybe even underpriced guys. I hate saying that term right now, but like some guys that maybe just are a little bit off the beaten path, like guys that people aren't really thinking of because of that role increase. So I think it's smart. I like it.
And if you did buy players for this competition weeks ago, do you sell them now to get out?
No, I mean, I think the whole benefit of this, and I'm somebody that has like the crappy end of a Man City collection and all the wrong pieces of my Liverpool collection. Okay.
Let's
you're buying.
use some specifics here. You have a Liverpool collection without Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you have
Correct.
a Man City collection without Rodri or Haaland.
I mean, that's my least of my City problems. I don't have like an Ederson. Maybe that's good. I don't have Bernardo. I had like Alvarez and Diaz and backups, and like I don't know what the hell I was doing. But this isn't about me, Laird. This is about you.
Right, sorry.
Right. But no, I say all that just like if you have these type of like guys, I think if you were just buying for the competition, like you deserve to take your L when you're coming out, because that was always like the trajectory, unless we were going to the moon, right? Yeah. Unless there was 100,000 people that came in, which I did not see one person go, I think the Prem competition is going to fix every sober woe. I think every single person that I saw talking about is, I'm going to pay a little bit now. If I try to get on the back end, I'm going to lose some, but it's fine. I'm hoping to win some cash in between. And all those players that I just joked about, like I'm planning to use them moving forward. There's still a long part of the season left. I think a lot of good on EPL guys is hopefully some of them are like planning to play in Euros, so you can even go into the summer with them, and that hopefully just bridges the gap before next season.
Daniel said the whole idea was to buy cards and win more than the difference between the buy and sell prices. I actually disagree.
Well, no, I think part of it was fun. I mean, and
no, but I just mean I don't know how many people bought cards for this competition expecting to sell at the end. I think they all convinced themselves when they were paying 2-3x of like, oh no, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to keep grinding. But we are seeing people obviously sell. It's not just auctions that we're seeing. Like people are selling in the secondary market.
I mean, so now you bring up a card that you should have sold forever ago.
That what?
That you should have sold this card forever ago.
I mean, that's literally like my gallery as a whole.
I have to take it aside. I actually have to. I have not been able to find it. At some point, maybe somebody can clip this as a funny tweet, not as the previous clip. But Laird, if anybody did not watch when he opened his Cap 240 rare win, the whole time he's doing the stream, he's like, I just don't want Harry Kane. I just don't want Harry Kane. And he didn't even see Bruno there. And he gets Bruno. He's just so excited. Hey, would you like Harry Kane now?
I would have sold Kane.
So that would actually been better.
Yeah. Yep. And I probably would have bought Bruno, knowing me.
So it'll all come back to the end.
It all comes back, yeah. Daniel Cooper said Bruno has the most big chances created in the Prem this season, I think.
The last time I heard somebody say that, it was Dusan Tadic, and I think he's proven that he's dust.
What about Tadic?
Remember, like, when I was claiming to you that he was very, very dusty, you kept on showing me all the big chances created.
Oh, I did.
BCMs. Yeah. And then he came out of it for a little bit before.
Yeah. This is last 15 games, at least. Big chances created.
I'm joking on all this stuff, but, like, this Bruno does feel like the exact definition of the team and a player just going through the doldrums. Like, United shouldn't be this bad.
Yeah.
With like the amount of investment, the amount of, I think we all agree, talented guys that are on the roster. So, like, probably comes out of it, but who knows?
Full disclosure, I considered Man United stack for the rest of this, but I couldn't do it.
Why? But why? I mean, that's not that crazy of a good spot. Home to Spurs, who's probably going to score. Oh, that's right. There's no Onana either.
Yeah. I'm not doing it, but
Yeah.
was the.
I think you could do better.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Johansson said if United shouldn't be this bad, what would Chelsea say? Chelsea's just too busy spending money.
Just hold. I mean, yeah, they're just interesting clubs right now, to say the least.
I don't even know where they are. Tuggy just don't even don't even. Chelsea are 10th. Yeah. How about this? Alvarez, top corner taker in the last 15 games.
It's
like,
amazing.
Look at the names on the list. Alvarez, JWP, Trippier, and Bruno.
I mean, Alvarez was taking a monopoly. As somebody that just sold my Alvarez, now I feel free. Like, it's actually amazing how badly he scored for as many corners and like the role that he had without KDB, given like it all set up perfect for him. We know he was like an elite scorer at River Plate. We know he's a very, very, very talented player. And I was always just baffled that his AA wasn't higher.
It was surely like, I'm not watching every single game or any of them. Surely they were all just short corners. Like, there's no way you can take that many corners. And
I play enough DFS. He was very valuable in DFS for a lot of crosses. So
there you go, Brad. Maybe.
He had some 10 to 13 cross games, plenty in there. So
Brad said Bruno has no Europe now, which is a reason he's taken a tumble. I think there were also some Saudi rumors.
Really? I did not see that stuff.
Yeah. I think it was one of those that like they're just been so bad, and he was like, maybe I'll just go to Saudi Arabia, and everyone's like, go.
Never mind. That's actually part 2 of the show about transfers.
Yeah. Should we even just go right there?
We can. I mean, did we let's put a wrap on your EPL thing? So are you going to do it?
I don't know. I think it's not that I don't want to do it. I think it's more that I don't think I'll find the right players that I want for later. Like, the Premier League players I want are like at AFCON or they're hurt, and I don't necessarily think buying them now benefits me enough.
That's fair. And then you have to, which maybe this is a good segue, because like a guy I've loved forever, and I saw him, I think it was like 7 or 8 on your list, is Olise from Palace.
Yeah.
Just as like a DFS guy, like he's DFS god because he just crosses a ton, shoots a ton, draws a ton of fouls. He's pretty good on the matrix. He'd be fantastic on the matrix if he was a forward. And being a mid card and losing those possessions sucks. But let me look at those scores. He's still pretty elite. But the issue with one of those guys that you would want to hold, that you would like, okay, I like this guy. He's going to score well. He's young. He's going to move. And like we talked about this a little bit on Collection Time Only last week, but the hardest part with that type of guy is you go, okay, he moves. You know, he was rumored to Chelsea this past offseason. And you go, oh, that's great. That's a more dominant team. He did well at Palace. He should do great at Chelsea. And you go, well, everything at Palace was revolved around getting him the ball. Yeah. And that's not going to be the same, or the role is different, or the system's different, all those type of things. So those are some of the hardest things to judge on these like wonder kids or guys that you think are primed for a great move. You might not reap the benefits of that great move for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Bader here said Alvarez is an example of a card you need to do an eye test on him. I feel like that's the problem. He looks great.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great player. It's just like what he does is not always beneficial in the matrix.
Yep.
Daniel said, I looked at the scores to win each tier prize in limited all-star versus rare all-star since the start of the Prem season. And surprisingly, on average, you need less points for a star tier 1, tier 2 in limited than in rare. So the reason why that's the case is because they give away so many more of them. Like in rare all-star, there will be like 5 stars given out, and there will be 50 in limited. Maybe it's not that drastic.
I think too, like where Laird's going with this point as well is in the current solar climate, we all want cash or ETH more than cards because the card valuations just swing so much. So you were looking at this specifically as, where can I add another outlet that I can win cash or ETH and then go buy what I want, versus having to just compete for a card that I don't want and then have to have the burden of selling and all that stuff. That's mainly like your thought, right?
Yes. Yeah. Like it's more, should I start developing a system where I know how to compete for cash in the optimal way? And the easiest way to do that is to literally just compete for cash right now. And I don't know, I still don't have the answer, but the Prem competition gives me that opportunity right now.
And not to be the bring the fun police in here, but it's also fun to like scout for like 2 weeks, see if you can beat somebody. You also get the capped part of it, which means that you just can't.
Yeah.
Like somebody said, you had to have Rodri. Actually, it's the opposite. He hasn't been that fantastic, and he was such a big cap hit that you had to go and get a little aggressive on some low plays. So I think the cap part of the Prem competition was like one of the best parts.
Yeah, I think the Rodri comment was about your collection.
Oh yeah, I mean my collection is massively like it was all founded on our Diaz jersey mint. Oh, it's just terrible. It's God.
In fairness, no one else on the platform can have that card.
I mean, I don't even want that card anymore. It's never going to be back to a price that I feel that good of selling it.
Let's see what you got here.
Why does he suck? Laird, like why does Ruben, maybe this is for chat, why does Ruben Diaz suck? I can't stand him. He and Dusan Tadic are just like number 1 and number 2 on my hit list right now.
Daniel Cooper said the Bruno stat was chances created, not big.
I mean, it's fine. I think that there's a lot of the whole big chances created versus chances created is very, very arbitrary stat.
For sure.
To say the least.
To go back to the rare all-star versus limited all-star. So there are 30 stars given away this weekend in limited and 5 in rare. Like that's fundamentally why it's easier. Like scores to win first place are usually higher in limited, but you have plenty of opportunities. Like let's see, an all-star. I hate how they do this. In limited, there's 70 tier 1s and 10 in rare.
Okay.
And 300 tier 2s in limited versus 65 in rare. So it's just a volume game. What is this?
I'm trying to see if there's so you could do this. We'll end this. So first week back, you got Burnley at home to Luton. Say stay away.
So I was looking at a Burnley stack.
And why? Luton's probably going to win. Luton's probably going to win. You got the Hammers going to Sheffield. Not looking terrible for Jada. Yeah.
United. But everybody's hurt.
I think the one that just looking at this is interesting is some version of like Arsenal home versus Palace. Palace will just bunker. We'll go in there and just like allow infinite possession. Then Brighton home to Wolves. But Brighton's not even all that much fun except for Gross.
Yeah. This is just one of the ones I found. Fixture difficulty ranker from RotoWire here, since I tend to know this site well.
Rep the old company.
That's right. I mean, Villa, away to Everton and then Newcastle.
And then Sheffield to Everton.
That one's after.
I don't know. Everton at home. Like, it all depends on how that game starts, because if it starts out well, then the Everton crowd is behind them and like is an amazing home crowd. And if it goes negative, they just like turn. So it's just all like depend on that first 25 minutes. Like
Yeah. I don't know.
And Brentford's been like the most disappointing. Like they got killed by Mbeumo being out, but like Tuggy put Brentford stack. Like they've just been all over the place. I think a lot of people really like Brentford going into this competition because of the fixture list. And Jensen, who was a popular target, was injured most of it, and Mbeumo, who's by far their best,
Burmo,
SO5. What is it?
Burmo.
I would have never gotten that.
There's, of course not. Of course not. The only reason I know that is that the Premier League put out like a pronunciation video, and I had watched his like 5 times because I was like, "Is he saying Burmo?" And I was like, "He is saying Burmo."
You know what my problem would be? I would have 2x speeded that and never gotten it right still.
Right. Right.
But yeah, do it. I mean, it's not gonna. This is your little devil's advocate or evil guy on your shoulder. Do it. Have fun. Like the prices, the curtail of the prices on chart wise look like they already were there.
Yeah.
So go in, have some fun, see if you can win some cash. If nothing else, proof of concept, proof of your research. And then before the next one, that like what you were looking at was.
Where do you think the prices go if they have another one? A Premier League spring competition?
Up, but not as high.
Right.
I mean, like that's if like you did a chart, like maybe like midline it. But I think people will realize when, like, I'm gonna use the word like lunacy, like when it was just too crazy.
Yeah.
Like you had like this, I felt like it kind of like tapered where everybody got really excited, and then you had the second level of going, ooh, taking it up.
Yeah.
But
before
do you think real quick? I'm sorry, like this is a complete like not fair question, but do you think like the next one, if they do decide this, do you think it's Prem, or do you think that they go one of the other license leagues?
So they do a Bundesliga and La Liga one for
it was like some sort of referral. Yeah, like, I think that was like some sort of referral event. It probably doesn't have the same, it's not getting a banner on the front of the site.
I think they can do multiple. Like, why not another Prem and a Bundesliga one? Like,
can I tell you the why? Is because all of us are here having questions: is threshold sustainable? And they're like, "Hey, here's $500,000 to toss into this new competition."
But it's also, hey, here's $500,000. Go buy some cards to play. I think that's a very different situation.
I just thought of this. This could be terrible. This is like typical me on these shows, getting a new idea that's terrible. What if it was like you only could use first owned cards? You couldn't even buy them on secondary. Like, just literally come to Sorare Daddy. You can only use the cards you buy from us.
Yeah, I don't think it happens.
I don't either.
They've already made the backlash. They've already made the money, at least on the non-reward ones. They've already made the money of, if somebody bought something on auction, then sell it. Like, they've already made the auction money. They'll take their 5% of $20 or whatever it is. Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. I'm literally going to edit that out. How dare you? How dare you? Quick thing up here, Dream Oblivion off topic, which that's Friday.
That's Friday.
But anyway, could we get an option to hide Academy lineups in SO5 results? So I'm going to answer this question in a really smart ass way, and then I'll give you the behind the scenes. You can already do that. Like, you can hide them. That's actually not even a smart ass way. That's the answer. You can already do that. But I know what you're saying, and the answer is we're well aware. Don't worry. And Mike Basson said, wait, you edit these. So that's why I had to stop the joke, because I don't.
I mean, it could have saved him a lot of heartache a week ago if he edited these. Sorry.
You know what's funny about that? Not to get into that, I wouldn't have even done it, because
you said it, and I kind of made like a face, and I'm like, Celtic fans would like to disagree, but I only defended one fan base.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorare CEO says, please give us a Bundesliga spring competition. I've got a Dortmund rare collection stack for this season. Hashtag prayers.
The only thing I'll say about,
I'm cool with that.
The only thing I think like leads it, if they do another one, to being Prem is just the eyes. Is that Prem's the most popular league in the world for a reason.
I had
double down.
I had no idea what you meant by that. And you said the eyes, and all I could think about was the back of the 3D cards. And I'm like, does he mean the new cards? Is that what meant by the eyes? I'm like, enough people know that? Anyway.
No, but I mean, I assume that's why, you don't see a La Liga one with 500K, because it's just not, probably generating the marketing buzz. But it didn't seem like the other one did.
I totally get that, but it also doesn't need to be 500,000. Like, just make it
Right,
less.
right. Just make it cash prizes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's possible. Let's talk about transfers, because that's what you wanted to talk about. Are you selling the hype? Selling the news? Buying the news? What's the phrase?
That's what I want to talk about, because I have no flipping clue. Like, I used to be really good at flipping and stuff like that, and I think I feel like transfer season and like how you can capitalize on it really is just all depending on like you, like how into it you want to be. Like, I thought flipping was dead. I joked with you. I thought flipping on this platform was kind of dead with like the 5% and things like that. And I'm watching, good friend of ours, Tuggy, out here. I used to joke with him, Tug Trader. He's out here pulling off some pretty good flips. And, I sent you last night, if you would have just bought turkey cards 1 week ago, you probably double your money from last week to this week, sewing into this current midweek game week.
Yeah.
You would have made it from me. I bought 2 cards this morning because I'm an idiot. But like, so, I think this like this thought process that you can't capitalize on like transfer markets or news and stuff right now is definitely proven to be false. Like, the market's pretty damn active.
So it's funny you say that, because I think Sean mentioned it.
Yeah, he didn't fully get it out, like, but he's been every day in my DM like, man, Keith, I can't believe how many offers, because he finally listed a ton of cards.
So do you think it's just a coincidence that after a very slow period of Sorare, where there are not many matches and therefore low utility, that the market started going lower, and now that all the leagues are coming back, there's a little more interest, and so prices maybe are going up? Is that, I think, a coincidence?
I think HG said it really, really well on you all shows together too, when he joked, one, he knows this is like the worst time possible to sell his cards, and he slipped in one thing that I think that in there that I think maybe got unnoticed, but it's because lister play is like so prohibitive to sell cards, because you're just like, do I really want to sell? Or you have like the weekend goes into the midweek, and you're just like, well, now it's not the time, and then it's the weekend, and you just like, you can never list your card.
Yeah.
But now that everybody's off, you're like, okay, let me see what Salah will get me. Like, let me see what I can get for insert card that's not playing right now. And now if you have 10 people that do the same thing, they go, well, I can't list for more than the guy on the market. If I want to sell this, I have to list for the same or underneath him. And then you just get the drop down effect.
Yeah. I think we did an office hours right after lister play. Maybe it was like a week after. And we were kind of joking that everybody loved lister play because they were like, prices have stopped, or values have stopped falling.
Yes.
And we had to make the point that a lack of sale does not mean the value has gone up. That just because there are no cards for sale doesn't mean that your card is worth any more or less than it was when it could be for sale. And it actually reminded me, I went back and watched, I tweeted a few of them, but there was a podcast we did, or a stream we did just over 2 years ago. And in that video, Evaldo was talking about selling all of his cards, and he was saying the floor price of a card is not the value of the card, because when it's at the floor price, nobody's willing to pay for that price. And so the value is actually less than that, because if that was the value, somebody would pay it. And that's the problem that we got with lister play. It was like, okay, people are undercutting. So card goes from 5 to 450 to 4. And they were like, all right, lister play. And then all of a sudden there's none on the market. And you're like, man, my card's still worth $5. And you're like, But if you list it for 5, nobody's spending 5. And it feels like we just came out of this period where people, like you said, people were able to list their cards with no problem, and prices go down, because when more people are trying to sell, they undercut, prices go down. But now, I'm going to need that card this weekend, I'll take it off the market. And now all of a sudden prices are not falling as much.
Yeah. I mean, and you've long said utility is what like saves everything, because people enjoy the heck out of this game. And like, they don't love their cards when they're not playing. I cursed Tadic and Diaz, but I fired Tadic up as a captain this midweek because it was a great thing. And, the moment that Ruben Diaz is home for Sheffield United, he will go right into like a top lineup because I just want to see their big
Only to see
stories.
Akanji and Ake start.
I mean, not Akanji for a while. He tore something.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, God, thanks for that reminder. I forgot about that. I actually, my hatred because he didn't even start after the damn training pictures. Oh, Pep. So no transfers. So whoa. Who's middle finger? Oh, is that the St. Louis City guy? Do we even know if he's good?
He is good. I will say
really,
this.
Really, is that 26 L15 is a good sign that he's good?
No. So he plays behind arguably their best player.
Okay.
So
he's not better than their best, though.
Correct. But he's good. And people think he's good.
Highly of him. I see a Laird little purchase number right there.
Collection.
Right. I see. So are you gonna do the NEP? All right, so hold on. I'm gonna turn this transfer thing to you. You're already shaking your head, but I gotta at least say to the people what I was gonna say, so then you can say no. But we've always joked on collection time only, or I should say not joke. NEP's always said one of the best things to do with collection is you have one of these random guys that costs nothing because he's not playing, and they get a big move. Or I used the example. What was his name? Harry Suter from Leicester went on international break to Australia and was immediately like the number one defender pick scorer because they were minus a gazillion. He drops 100, but I sold him for like 10x what I paid for him. So why aren't you going to do this? Why aren't you going to sell him to this hype train?
So I'm going to tell you exactly why. And Blue Tomatoes here. So he is too important in my collection.
Oh, is he a jersey man or?
I'm competing for first place.
Okay.
And as soon as he transfers, there are no more cards of his. And so I can't get first owner on the card anymore. And I hate to put it this way. Turning 90 cents into $3 is just not worth it for me.
Sure. So is there a line though that it would have been worth it if it was $30 into 9? Underneath? You need to get back your João Felix.
Yeah. Price. No, I don't know what the number was, but it obviously, like that is the case. That's what you should do. But the fact, I mean, frankly, there's an auction right now. I guess I could but the price is obviously.
But the problem is the price is going to be.
Right. Yeah. But so by the time the price comes down, his auctions will be gone and I won't be able to get, I take a significant collection hit. Right. That's all.
No,
that's why I'm not selling.
I get it. But I mean, that's one, collection tidbit. I mean, look, what, $5? $5 right there? Okay.
It's an instant buy for $5. Jeez.
I love that. That's so good.
And a $2.94 floor for the new season card.
So let's pretend
Andy's the rare top.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a point of pride for Andy on his St. Louis collections that he's the top price on every single.
You know what's infuriating is I have a Midtjylland collection and assumed I had this card, like literally the one Andy bought, and I don't have it. And I was just like I would have sold that one because that collection is not as competitive.
Right.
So I was like, man, I'll definitely clean up on this. And looked, and I went to my account to sell it, and I was like, only a limited. I was like, oh my God, no.
Oh, that's actually really frustrating. So let's take your collection out, and let's just say that you did, because I do want to go back to the transfer talk a little bit and utilizing our galleries and things like that. We're gonna actually give some good advice 40 minutes into the show, maybe. But if it wasn't for a collection, do you sell, or do you go, oh, I got a U23 left back that's going to the MLS and I only paid 90 cents for him, and now it would cost me $5-6?
I 100% sell.
And because?
Well, I just think it's not even the risk, but I can probably get that card back. Like I could probably get that card back if I want, because I assume, if he transfers now, he should be there for picture day. He'll have new MLS cards anyway.
True.
And frankly, once he gets MLS cards, maybe the Midtjylland ones are cheaper anyway. But I don't need a St. Louis City left back.
I think not only like the St. Louis City stray that Andy and friends just caught, but I think it's more so just like we talked about it, I think last week, kind of wanted to bring it to this show though too, is that like what percentage of transfers where everybody goes, he's going to smash there. How many times have the guy actually smashed there? It's not high.
I'm like trying to think of one that was like right away.
Great move. Oh, you know what? I'll give you one.
Jude.
But he didn't. Yeah, but did people think he was going to smash it, or did people just go, eh? I don't feel like that was like a well-known.
Yeah.
I'm talking like everybody's like, the good old like any Discord group like, oh my god, he's going to smash it, like Coke Shoe,
Kane.
To Benfica. There you go. I don't think Bellingham was his height. I don't think like everybody was like he went from Dortmund to Madrid. He's the number one U23 player on the platform. I don't think anybody
also expected him to have like 12 goals after 12 games.
But that's what I'm saying. He's outperformed that. But like the one I remember this offseason, and am I saying his name right? Kochu?
Kirchu, yeah. Kirchu.
That was he is the number one player, U23 on the platform. No debate. And it's funny because he replaced Enzo, who was that was the one I was going to say. Everybody was like he was going to smash up Benfica, or if I'm remembering right, I think enough people thought it was going to be really good, and he did, and he just smashed his face off, just like he was at River.
Yes. Apple's saying Haaland, which
I don't think so. I'm not going to go there on that. I think that's long been chronicled by Sean.
But like
Haaland doesn't smash anywhere.
But I actually think less about smashing, like where on this chart. I guess it's all Man City. Excuse me. I was going to say, I feel like you wouldn't be able to really tell the difference.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like it's going to look score, don't score on every single
one. Like when did he change? Let's see. So let's call it game week 294-ish. So around here. So like all of this was Dortmund. Like he was pretty good. Ben Johnson saying Gakpo, which I feel like is the total opposite. You know who? See, I think the problem is that they didn't expect him to smash, but Luis Diaz was really good when he left Porto. Like early on at Liverpool, he was very good. I think. You're muted.
I remember Sean on a strategy show because, God, I don't mean to bring up like bad memories from you, but you were hurting over the decision if you should sell him or not.
Diaz?
Yeah.
So like
you
looking
had the forward
back,
card. You had the forward card.
Yeah. Looking back, I cannot believe I kept it.
It made no sense. Well, I mean, he's a guy too that like never. You and I were having some fun with the Jonas Hoffman scoring chart because it's just like the amount of like hundreds that guy rips off at home. Like you'd look at the Diaz chart and there's just like so few of those top end scores that it's just kind of like, what were we expecting from him? Like he started out hot and like that was a perfect sell into the hype guy.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that's kind of where I fall on transfers is I think if you look as a collective and you don't do the one guy that bucked the trend and crushed at the next place that you didn't expect it, but you look at like I sold 10 guys into a transfer, you're going to be thrilled that you sold probably 9 of them.
So I was thinking about that similarly in terms of just like players that like if you are a trader, there's no expectation that you will profit on every single card.
Right. But we expect to.
Right. And so if you do buy like a bunch of cards, you just speculate in terms of transfers and you sell all of them. Surely you'll be wrong about one of them. Like one of them is going to, but you can also, I feel like what puts you in the, what gets you in trouble there is knowing that they're like, man, one of these should really pop off. And so like, maybe I'll hold them all and find out. And then none of them work out. And it's just like,
and then you have like this irreversible hole too, because like I feel like transfers too are the ones that most radically go back down faster when it doesn't work. Like, you know, the guy transfers in the first game, he doesn't start. Oh my God, he's not going to start for this team. Let me get the hell out of here.
Brad Craig said Darwin Nunez was expected to smash at least by Liverpool fans. I guess he does smash lots of people in the crowd with some of his shots. I don't think
well said.
I don't think any non-Liverpool supporter thought Darwin Nunez would be better at Liverpool than he was at Benfica.
Right. But I mean, I think those are the exact type of transfers that are the ones, I think we'll call it like the more sharp aspect of like the Sorare crowd. Like I think Sergio did like a really good job yesterday talking about that. How, God, I'm trying to think of the right way how he said it. You think that you're like a soccer degenerate and that you know all this information. You're going to come in here and kill everybody with your soccer knowledge until you realize the Sorare community is filled of everybody like you. That is just, that's essentially what he said, right? I don't think he used degenerate like I'm doing, but like killer soccer players. So he's like, I'm going to specialize in one set of a region that not as many people are caring about. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's like all these I know betters with transfers. Like, oh, I know he's going to smash there. And it's like, there's like hundreds of other people that are trying to hit the same button thinking the same thing. And most likely you're actually going to do better off by selling into that hype. Yeah. And the guy like not reaching those same expectations.
Yep. Daniel pointed out Sadio Mane going from Liverpool to Bayern. Yeah, that was that didn't work.
That was one. But I mean, if you just think about it there, like I think the ones, God, that's such a great one because I remember enough people thinking it being really good, but like, why would a guy that's really good at a good team all of a sudden be that much better at a good team?
At another good team, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Bayern dominates the league more. But it's like, yeah, but Mane had like 7 years at Liverpool to figure out his role, right?
Yeah. Tugly wanted to bring up Angelino, but he gave credit to
I wasn't going to.
He called him a flop. I think Chani was the only one back then that was like, hey, he's actually awful.
But, you know, it's so funny, too. Like, I can't think of any offhand, but like I know there's definitely a few maybe Chad can think of where we went, that is awful. I don't know what that team's thinking. The guy's actually pretty good. Like, it works out. It's probably not a lot because we'd like to forget it, but I'm trying to think too right now.
It's a great, I feel like there was one in the Bundesliga. You know what it is? It's actually some of the ones who get promoted, like second division teams that get promoted. Like, what's his name?
I have the best one from the Bundesliga. I have the best one from the Bundesliga before I forget it. Grimaldo. But no, but right, like you can't possibly be as good as like the number one defender on the platform. He surely has to suck.
Yeah, so the Grimaldo, I feel like, is exactly the card that now you're just like, uh-oh, maybe I don't want to sell because like what if he's Grimaldo?
Right. Like you're just like, oh, there's a guy that was great in one situation and still great. So why don't I trust a great player? And then you go over earlier in chat, Cody Gakpo. And you go, oh, you mean the number one chance creator in the entire world?
Yeah, I was looking.
Best was a good one.
Jan Nicholas Best.
What a beast. You know
what, he's actually gotten better.
You know who I've never checked back on? Remember, didn't he have like a killer center back that when we first started LTO, we were going after? It was Best, and there was a center back on his team. When we were doing our pick scores. Manka, there it is. And how has he been? I have not looked at this guy. Okay. I mean, he's worse. Not what, right, but he's not like dead. You would never use him though. You would never like what's and this is my argument with a guy like Best, and I think like so often, this is an off transfer topic. Sorry, just aside, but I try to tell people all the time, like that will like ask some things. There's one thing to like the guy's good and his scores are great, and there's another thing when you are sitting in your lineup and you go, "This is my Sean." Sean put this in my head long ago, and it was really good advice. You're looking at your number one lineup. What situation would you need to be in that you're going to put Best in there?
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's like probably 1 to 2 matchups a year. So then when he drops 100 away to Dortmund, you can't go, see, he's great. You would have never played him there.
You would have never. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that he dropped the score because you were never going to experience. Like, you know, I've had a lot of crap about my gold sale and all that stuff. And I joked with you, the one time he probably would have made my top lineup,
he had like a 30, didn't he?
Was like home to Colorado or something like that. He put up like 30.
Yeah.
Every other one, he would have gone down in ranking. So I think like just knowing the roles of these players sometimes too is like, you know, even if you think he's going to smash, but like, are you going to feel good enough in that matchup to put him in your top lineup? If not, maybe you should sell the hype.
Yeah. The imagine somebody told you that up and through the Bundesliga winter break that Grimaldo was the highest scoring player in the league.
We made so much fun of who was it? What was the whale that came out and bought so much? Was it Pranksy or who bought like somebody bought like 12 Grimaldos and we were all like after the transfer and we were all
I assume Roxy because I feel like Roxy just
no, it wasn't Roxy. It was one of the new people. It might have been Pranksy, or there was somebody else around the Pranksy time. I'm trying to think who it was. I definitely made fun of them. Definitely was wrong.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, God, what was the other one? I don't know. It's whoever bought my Churney. Whoever bought my Churney super rare is the one that bought like 13 or Grimaldos.
That's a funny way to remember.
Well, they bought all the Grimaldos. I'm like, I wonder if he wants a Churney. And they did.
Flow State.
There you go. That was who bought a ton of Grimaldos. He sold a lot of them, but he had like 6 or 7 rares and a couple supers.
That's fair. Yeah, fair. Carol said, I agree. That's why I sold Robert.
That's a La Liga guy. He was on set pieces for one of those.
He's great, but I can't ever put him in a lineup because Almeria is really bad.
There you go. Almeria.
They have Luis Maximiano.
Is he start still or is he where he should be? Yeah.
He's been hot.
That's why they're bad. But no, this is actually a really good example of the guy I'm talking about.
Madrid.
Like you just sit there and you like he scores and you're like, man, he got 67 against Madrid, and you're like, and you would have had him in training. Did you think he was hot because he got 2 great scores?
Yep. For those who don't know, I think Maximiano rare card was the most expensive card I'd ever bought, and just took an absolute bath on it. Ugh.
Did you sell?
I traded it.
Okay.
Recently,
but that's not true realization of the loss.
It was a Granada 1 of 100 too, and like I couldn't even find a Granada collector to want that card.
Here, I haven't read it. Any thoughts on Scosmo's Medium post?
I have a lot of thoughts on Scosmo's Medium post. And I can't get into it now. That's like a 3-hour conversation. It took me 3 hours just to read the damn thing.
All I'll say is I read the first line and I was laughing and I bookmarked it. And I'm like, later when I have time, I need to read this.
I'll admit that I read the entire thing and didn't look at a single chart. And there are like 1,000 charts in there, and I'm like, I don't know.
I have the same problem with MPen's articles, which I think is another person that researches stuff and writes well. Yeah, and he'll show all these articles, all these lines, and I'm like,
there's actually a very good line in Cosmos about how he's like, there's a lot here, but don't worry, but I'm not as good as MPen or something like that.
That's awesome.
No, everybody should go read it. Go take the next 3 days and read it.
No, I think it's a great thing. Anytime anybody's putting like effort into there, and most people that are watching a live stream on YouTube care a lot about the
Yeah,
product or
no,
enjoy a
I
lot.
think
Like the more you can consume, I think the better.
I've already
off you are.
talked to Scosmo a little bit about it. There are some parts of it that I think make a lot of sense, and that I like fully support, and there's some that I just think differently on. Not that I think he's wrong, but he like proposed like some different types of leagues, and I have other ideas, but that doesn't mean either of us are right or wrong. But
Only
yeah,
one guy will decide if you're right or wrong, and his name is Nicholas.
that's right. Yeah, let me see. I don't even know what. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if he's Sorare Scosmo. Oh, he is. Here, I'm just going to drop the link in the chat here. That's the Medium post if you haven't seen it. It's a good read. Absolutely. And I also really like his writing style.
Yeah, that's what I noticed in the first paragraph. Like that's those type of articles. If you're gonna get me, I have to like chuckle and things like that to like get through it. So
yeah, for those who are listening, it literally starts with an opening rant, and it says, "As Sorare teeters on the verge of collapse, it's not. It's great to see the economists, they're not, of the community come together to save us. They won't. By constantly regurgitating the same posts about price movement, lack of users, and the glue that holds us all together, thresholds."
love it. So good. So good.
Sounds like Daniel didn't read but read the charts. So maybe the two of us together could have a good opinion on it.
So I want to end. I know we're about to end, but somebody asked, yeah, we're about there. I don't know. Somebody asked if I was in a tornado zone.
Oh, yeah.
And if Laird will give me permission, we will do TTO because it actually is going to be a tornado watch, among other things out there, up to 70-mile-an-hour gusts. You know, this is what happens in Florida when you get a cold front. The state goes, no, we are not going to be cold. We are going to be warm and humid. And if it's actually really cold, it gets pretty nasty.
So the United States is a gigantic country. And Sean messaged me like an hour ago that his power went out because of the wind. And you have a tornado warning, and I have like a wind warning as well. And we don't live anywhere close to each other.
It's east. They're telling us to get the hell off the East Coast and move inward so we can get hit by tornadoes in the middle of the
That's a hard no.
Whoa, Andy's finally willing to give away St. Louis inventing something. Florida invented.
Not Florida, Floridia. Mike Basson said, "Donuts in the tornado, please." You don't even have to turn the car on.
My car might just do it. My car just might do it for me. So I'll finally be ended on that.
Brazil said, "We just got 8 inches of snow yesterday in SD. There's no way that's San Diego.
It's South Dakota.
It's not South. It's not Sorare data. South Dakota.
South Dakota. Yes. Come on, you American. Know your geography.
I've never not thought of San Diego when I saw SD.
That's an incredibly fair point.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the opposite. I was like,
oh no, it took me a second because I know San Diego didn't get 8 inches, or the world's definitely ending.
Right?
So
yeah.
Where could it be that 8 inches makes sense? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Card price is the last thing we need to worry about if San Diego gets 8 inches of snow.
I mean, the true sign that the site's over, by the way, is if we come on stream and just talk about weather for an hour, like then we can all just like pack up and leave. But until then, we're
not there yet. Don't worry about it.
No, we got too much fun to talk about.
Way too much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Somebody mentioned asking where Nep was. So Nep's not usually on this show. He's usually on tomorrow for collection time only. But I actually have no idea what we're going to talk about tomorrow, or if even Nep's going to be on. But we'll see. So there will be a show tomorrow. There is a game week preview in the morning for me, I guess. Probably the afternoon for a lot of other people. Bader said weather time only next. WTF. But anyway, so if you guys could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. And we'll be back tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and every day because that's just what we do. So thank you, everybody, and good luck with your transfers.